Okay, I call to order the 2 o'clock session on pending litigation. Ernie Hall.
Dick Training. Ron Hatton.
And Deannis and Barbara Jones.
So Dee, you opened the work session, so you go first. We're just copying, we're repeating what you just did.
Right.
What I had previously stated was this was a $1.2 million contract approximately for indigent defense services. An RFP was sent out. It was a successful bidder, Denali Law Group, an unsuccessful bidder, proposer, Gordon Lowe, and Gordon Lowe put in a bid protest. And at that point, it was referred by the Assembly over to the Bidding Review Board. The Bidding Review Board did recommend in favor of the intent to award. And subsequent to that, both proposers and the city have engaged in, I'll call it sort of global settlement efforts. The primary thrust of that will be that the unsuccessful bidder will withdraw the bid protest. Successful bidder will be taking over a large number of cases that will be that are Gordon and Lowe cases under the contract. And so primarily there's been negotiations in how to assist in that transition from one firm to the other. And so the unsuccessful bid proposer has been is trying to make efforts to make sure that this works smoothly.
Mr. Trainee, you had a number of questions. Did you want to ask those again? Or
No, you can go ahead and ask them, but I already got the answer to them earlier.
The first question that Mr. Trainee asked was, does the successful bidder not have an office in Anchorage?
And she said, no, they don't have an office, but they're going to get one.
Right.
Mr. Trainee, you asked a question about how many courts. I'm not sure I quite understood.
I just wanted to make sure they understand. In the valley, I think they go to one, but here they're going to go to multiple ones because we've got the wellness court, we've got the therapeutic court, and she indicated to me that they do in fact know all the arenas they have to play in. Want to make sure they're covering our indigent defense, and they're apparently going to.
You asked how many attorneys are they going to have?
And I believe I answered that they intend to staff up. They currently have 3, and I would anticipate the more 5 plus, but I'm not sure of that. But they indicated in their response to the RFP that they would staff up.
Department will look at their caseload to make sure they're not overworking the attorneys they have and make sure they hire new ones to get the case level down to where you guys consider to be a realistic response.
Correct.
Thank you.
Mr. Trainee asked the question, if the Assembly approved the contract, by what date will the other side have the attorneys on staff?
And I don't have knowledge of particularly what date, but I know that they are meeting with with Gordon Lowe and looking at that issue immediately.
And you said that the current contract expires 31 December, so I would anticipate some time frame for them to slide into it to start picking up the caseload.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Dee, you discussed that there was a common process when the successful bidder takes over.
And it's citywide in RFPs and in invitations to bid. It's fairly common that entities put in proposals and or bids, and they're not fully staffed up at that point in time. They wait to get the bid, and then they staff up once they know they have a bid. Very common for the successful proposer or bidder to hire the employees in the other office. And we anticipate that's probably what's going to happen in this case as well.
Jennifer Johnson asked, this is just project management?
Along those lines, if you have a scenario that was 100% that scenario, then that would be just project management. I think there's a little bit more in this particular case.
LB Gray Jackson asked, the successful bidder is hiring staff from the unsuccessful bidder?
They'll make that decision, and that's often also the case.
Julia Tucker asked a couple of questions. The first was, can you mention when the term of the contract expires?
The current contract with Gordon Lowe expires at the end of December 31st, 2013.
And Julia Tucker's second question was, you had discussed something about writing tickets.
If we don't have an indigent defense fund contract in place, one of the options would be to not write tickets or APD would not write them under the municipal code. They would write them to the state, and that we would lose the revenue source, because it is a revenue source, the fees and the fines.
And so her specific question was, when you write tickets through the state, where does the revenue go?
Yeah, it would go to the state.
I think the only other piece of information we're missing that was given to us is the fact that they will be assuming some caseloads that the old firm is carrying.
Mhm. And again, that's part of the settlement that actually the two proposers have worked out for the good of all, for the good of the clientele and for the city. And I applaud them both that they're working out a settlement under which they will, the successful bidder will take over the Gordon and Will cases that are remaining at the end of the year. And the numbers and some negotiation is still going on about that, but they are both intent on making that successful. And the city is also cooperating in that effort.
Okay. Mr. Frank.
Now, you said that the other firm that lodged the complaint withdrew it,
They will be withdrawing it
Withdrawing it,
concurrently with the settlement.
and your plans now is to come in front of us on our second meeting in December?
17th.
Just want to make sure that's the first item in this, that done, so we can look at it.
Any other items to come before us? Hearing none, we're adjourned.